what we'll do now. So this is our, we'll create an CloudFront. Okay. So you, as we know right now, CloudFront support different services: S3, EC2, Elastic Load Balancer, and your own server. So you can cache your data from this origins. These are all origins. Okay. So what we'll do in the lab, we'll create an S3 bucket far away. So right now we are in India. So nearest server is Mumbai. We will create in North Virginia, or we'll see. Okay. Or Sydney region. Try to access the image from S3 bucket, and we will note the time. We will have uh, we will note the time, how much it is taking time, how much time it's taking to load the image. Okay. Then we will create a CloudFront distribution of that image or that S3 bucket. Okay. Then we will block the direct access to S3 bucket. So previously the image which we are trying to access will have direct access. Okay. So basically the image which we want to access, so we are accessing the image directly through S3 bucket over the internet. So now we will block that access to S3 bucket and allow via CloudFront only. So all the requests from your laptop, from your local to that image will go to CloudFront. Access the image via CloudFront. Okay. And finally delete the CloudFront. This we'll do this in the lab right now. Okay. So let's go to our S3 bucket. Let's create a new bucket. S3 CloudFront. Okay. So instead of Mumbai, let's create Europe, not Asia, not Canada. We can go with the Canada. Let's go with the Ohio. Let's go to Canada. Okay. I will need a public access. Okay. I don't need a versioning. I don't tag encrypt. No. Create a bucket. Nice. See, it's already there. This will be also there. Right. Okay. So this is my bucket. You can see I have created this bucket in Canada. Okay, Canada region. So let's try. Let's upload a file. So I need to upload a file which is very large so that we can see the effect. Okay. So let's go with the image list of the file detail. Okay, you can see. Let's go with the 7 MB file. Okay. Allow read. Okay. So this is my file. This is my object in the S3 bucket. Now let's try to access this object. So you can see how much time it is taking to load an object. Okay, because it's a 7 MB file. It is downloading this file directly from S3, which is in Canada. So you can see the experience. It is taking like 30 seconds to load the file. Okay. how can we improve this thing using CloudFront? See again, if I again go and refresh, still it's taking time. See, so every time I access this file, because right now I am in Mumbai, yeah, every time I want to access this file, I'm in Mumbai and this server is here somewhere. So every time I'm going directly to that server. So this is how currently we are accessing the file. But what I want something like this. I don't want directly go to the server. I want to go to nearby a location and I want to create a cache. So see, so to improve this thing, we are going to create a cloud formation, CloudFront. Sorry, not formation. So we are in our cloud formation. Sorry, CloudFront dashboard. Okay. There are so many things, but let's go create a distribution. Okay. So we are creating a distribution. We talk about distribution, right? Distribution basically collection of a location where your data will be residing. Okay, where your cache will be there. So this is your website. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 location, your data will be cache. So this is called distribution. So we talk about there are two type of distribution: web distribution or RTMP distribution, right? So because our website is static and data is on HTTP and support HTTP and HTTPS, so we will go with the cloud web distribution. But if your data is multimedia or streaming data, okay, then you will create an RTMP distribution. Are you clear? What? So you have to select. You have to first of all you want to know what type of data you have. Then only you will create the cache of that, or you will create the CloudFront distribution for that. Okay. And this is a note from AWS. CloudFront is discontinuing support of RTMP distribution on 31st December 2020. Okay. Now, just a second. Okay. Though it is written that RTMP is going to discontinue in December 2020, still it can be an exam question because, or it can come in exam because your pattern or the question bank won't get updated that frequently. So do read about RTMP also. So we'll create an, currently we are working on the static website. So origin. So currently what is our origin? Ankit and Priyanka, where is our uh, website or where is our file right now?
Canada, Canada server.
Service, which service?
S3.
Right. So you can see in, if you click here, Amazon already give you suggestion. So S3 bucket. So we have this list of S3 bucket. So this is our S3 bucket name. Okay. And even you can see elastic load balancer. We haven't configured any elastic load balancer. That's why it is saying no. Okay. If we have EC2, it will give suggestion for EC2 as well. And if you have your own server, in theory we have read, even you can host your own server on CloudFront. You can post the IP of your server, local server, where your website is hosted, right? Origin path. What is origin path? If you have any doubt, now go, you can click on I, that it will give you the information. So origin path basically will be if you have, there is subfolder inside your bucket. If you want there are multiple folder and you want to just cache a particular folder or subfolders, you can go with that. So we'll keep this as a blank. Okay. Origin ID, this is any ID generated by S3. Restrict bucket access. What does this mean? Okay. If you want to require that user always access your S3 content using CloudFront URL, not the Amazon S3 URL, click yes. This is useful when you are using sign URL or sign cookies to restrict access of your content. This helps you to see the prevent content through CloudFront. Okay. So what we want right now, we don't want user to directly access the S3 bucket. We want them to route through CloudFront. So that's why we will click yes. Okay. In our so origin access identity, you won't have to create some policy accordingly to require the user always access the S3. See, if it was not no, there's that properties or parameter didn't pop up. If I click yes, there are a couple of property you need to set up. Okay. So if I want the user to access through CloudFront, not from S3, you have to set a couple of policies. So this is the policy to require the user always access your S3 content using cloud URL. You assign a special CloudFront user or origin access identity to your origin. You can either create a new origin or you can use the existing one. Okay. Basically, you need to create, you need to give CloudFront access. Okay. Because CloudFront is a service. You need to provide a access to S3. Okay. Let comment, let it be. I'm creating a new access. Grant read permission on your bucket. Put it yes. You need to access, you need to grant the permission to CloudFront to access your bucket. Okay. Attempt, how many times the CloudFront will attempt to access the S3 bucket? What is the timeout? If you require any header, you can set it here. Let it be default, whatever. So what is your cache behavior? Okay. So what type of URL you going to access? You're going to access HTTP and HTTPS, or you want to redirect HTTP URL to HTTPS. Basically, sometime you know that when you are hitting google.com, like HTTP google.com, it will route to HTTPS. See, you can see I have written HTTP and it is redirecting me to HTTPS by default. Okay. So what does HTTP and HTTPS means? If you So HTTP is the basic protocol and HTTPS is more secure. That is why S is there. It's a secure or safe protocol use. So if your user is typing HTTP, it will be redirecting to HTTPS protocol. Okay. Or you just want HTTP. So any user which is trying to access HTTPS, he won't be able to access. So basically most of the companies will redirect to HTTPS. Allow HTTPS method. Okay. So what this method means? So what type of content you want to cache in CloudFront? So right now, if you want to just download the data, you will use the get. Okay. But we talked about CloudFront is used for both to download as well as to upload the data. So if you want to use the CloudFront as a accelerator, S3 accelerator, you will give get and put all the permissions, download and upload. Okay. But right now we will go with the header. Okay. You're getting what is the method? Are you clear with the method? So basically we are allowing what type of request we want. Either we want to just download the file from the CloudFront or we want upload the file also.
Yes, Parag.
Okay. So cache policy, this is the policy lifecycle policy which we are talking about. Okay, so let's see what is the policy already there. This is TTL. Okay, TTL setting. So Amazon has already, there is a one TTL property already there. So your how much time your cache will be there in the CloudFront. So time to leave. This is a question which might come. Okay. So time to leave, it's 1 second. It's a minimum 1 second, and maximum is 31 billion million. Okay, nearly 31 million seconds. Basically, it's still 65 days. Okay, so you can set the TTL of your data or your cache from minimum 1 second till 365 days. Okay, and by default it is 1 day. 86,400 is 1 day. It's all in seconds. Okay, if you want, you can create your new policy. If you want to customize your TTL, you can do here. You can create your new template, new TTL policy, whatever. Okay, you can create. So according to your website, according to your customer requirement, you can create new TTL. We will go with the default one. Okay, there are more policies available also. You can check it out. Origin request policy, let it be, let this be. Smooth streaming, restrict viewer access, use sign URL or shine cookies. Okay, so what this means who can access your data, who can access the cache. If your website is public, as I said, if you are not logged in, even then also you will able to access your data, right? So you can restrict that thing. If the user is signed in, then only this file or this content will be delivered to them. So right now I'm clicking no. Compress the data automatically. Let it be. Let this whole things be as it is. Coming to here. Okay. Distribution settings. What is meant by distribution settings? Basically, when you are creating a website, you are creating a domain name, right? So there are some a name, NS name server and domain are there. You can write that camel of your domain here. You can specify the domain name here from where your distribution or your data can be cached. Okay, and you might be knowing there are some certificate added to the websites. Some website need certain certificates, so you can add that certificates here. Okay, or you can pass, even Amazon provide website certificates, so you can add that certificates from here. Support HTML versions not required, default object root not required, VP enable VP IPv6 also is there. So okay, now create. Okay, there is no issue. It is getting created. Let's go to distribution again. You can see it is getting created, right? Till now, any issue?
No, no problem. Nothing from.
Okay, so let's go and check the properties again. So meanwhile, it is creating, it's in the process. Let's see. So this is my distribution. You can have multiple distribution, but we have created for one S3 bucket. You might have multiple S3 bucket. You might have multiple web services hosted in your Amazon. So you can create multiple distribution. The one which we have created, it's a web based, and its ID is this. If I click on this, you can see the distribution ID. This is ARN. This is a path, or this is a your Amazon resource name. It's basically used by Amazon internally. So this is your distribution name. Okay, there is no prefix. We haven't. It's S3 bucket, and we haven't given any prefix. It's a web base. Currently, it's under process. it's you. What is the price? It's a edge location, best performance. Okay. WAF is basically, there is a concept of WAF, AWS WAF. WAF is basically, it's a firewall on your website. So if you want to enable a firewall on your website, you will enable a WAF, WAF. Alternate domain name. If you have created another domain name, you can attach certificate. You can attach. We haven't used it. Okay. So this is the domain name which is created. Okay. We have to copy this. This is the important part. What we have to do. Alternate domain name and this domain name. Okay. You know, many website have their own URL, just like google.com or youtube.com, and behind the scene there might be multiple URL or IPs which are related to that or linked to that. So currently our IP, our URL is this, just like in S3 bucket. This was our URL. This is our URL for our object, but I can map this URL to a domain, just like right now radical.com. If I click radical.com, this image should be populated, this object should be accessed. Rather than I'm passing this whole URL, I will map this URL to a particular domain like radical.com. So that is called alternate domain or camel name. Okay, are we clear? You can edit it, you can do anything. And if I click here origin, so what is my origin? So our origin is S3 bucket, and this is our S3 bucket name and the ID which is created. Okay, behavior. So what is the behavior? CloudFront compare the request object with a path parameter. You cache the behavior. Okay. So right now everything is default. We have put the default setting. This we have changed. We redirected HTTP to HTTPS. Okay. The cache is optimized cache, and other things are by default. Error page. So what is error page? Basically, if there while trying to access the cache, if there is some issue or there's some problem with the cache, you know, many websites have different way of uh, giving the error page. Okay, so many companies like just some company host like this these are many ways you can post. So if there is an error, you can route to these pages. So that's what you can define the error message or response. Restriction. What type of restriction currently we haven't given any restriction, but you can create restriction. So here there is a geographical restriction is there. Okay, so what does this mean? So if you enable this thing, you can whitelist or blacklist your content in 8 location depending on the region. So if I want to just blacklist, I don't want America Somia region to access this website, or Argentina, I can add it here. Okay, or I can whitelist. I will allow only this 3 region, or I will allow only in this 3 region to cache my data. Okay, you can access. You can have a geo restriction settings in CloudFront. So basically, you can restrict your data, or you can enable the cache in this on the basis of geolocation. Invalidation. Okay, so we talk about if you want to delete your cache, right? If you want to your cache is already created in CloudFront and you want to delete your cache, so from here you can delete the cache. So here the cache you will create an invalidation that will delete the cache from a location. Okay, from here you can do the settings of that. And tagging basically gives the name of. So let's see if it's deployed or not. Okay, you can. Okay, so for CloudFront, we have a S3 bucket. I have created an S3 bucket. which has a public access. You can see here. Okay, so let's upload a file. So I'm choosing a file which has a very huge file. Size is huge. So I will go mhm, personal S3. So I'm selecting a file which I have clicked on my trip. This is a image in my local, and this is a image I clicked through my DSLR. So let's upload this file. Okay, make it read public right now. Okay, upload. Okay, the file is uploaded. Okay, so if it's a public access is enabled, I can just click on the object URL and I can paste. It will load the file. Right? We note this thing. So where is this my bucket is located? I think we have created this bucket in Canada, right? Yesterday. So right now we are in Mumbai region, or we are in India, and we have created this bucket in Canada. So our bucket is located far from us. So it is taking time to load the image. You can see this is 7 MB file, and it is taking time to load. So let's go to CloudFront. We'll create a web distribution. We are creating a web distribution here. Get started. Okay, we'll choose our S3 bucket. Okay, original path. Original path will keep it as it is. We are restricting the user to access the S3 bucket directly. So all the requests will come to edge location. Okay, we'll create new access identification. We'll create grant the permission. Okay, so this is basically allowing CloudFront to access the S3 bucket. It will create a role and it will create a it will give the grant the permission. So I'll show you. If you go here, property permission. So right now there is no permission, right? There is no bucket permission. Okay, in the my S3 bucket. So this will create add the permission in my S3 bucket, and it will create a user which will have the access to which will have permission to access the S3 bucket. Okay, HTTP, everything will be the default. We have talked about this restrict the user. We talk about the sign URL. So basically sign URL is used where if you want uh, don't want the any public user, okay, to access this data. If your user there are some application of web streaming application just like Hotstar or Wood. They have some free content and they have some paid content. For paid content, you have to log in first. Then only you will able to access to their paid content or their particular services which are accessed when you log in. Then only the few files or few videos will available to you. Okay, so that is what called sign URLs. So until and unless you are not logged in, that content won't be available to you. So there are few content which are available without logging in or signing in, and there are few content which are available after you are signed in. So basically that is what Amazon is saying. You want the viewer or user to be signed into Amazon, then only your this content will be displayed to them. That is what I use sign URL. Are you clear? What is sign URL? Okay, moving ahead. Alternate domain name. Basically, right now we will use. something like this domain name. You know domain name like google.com, or in the company, our S3 bucket has a domain. This is a this is the name of our S3 bucket. So this is our domain, right? But if you're creating your application, if you're creating your web server, you are not going to use this domain name, right? Okay. So what will be domain name? Just like radical.com slash DevOps dev certification slash this image name. Something will be like that, right? If radicals dot com slash uh, developer slash image name dot j jpeg, something like that will be there. Generally this will be the domain name, and behind the domain name this will be your image name. Generally this is what when you check into URL, this is what you will see, the URL of your image is generally outside the world. But currently you have this URL. I don't want to expose this URL. I want to change this URL to my domain name. So you can register your domain here, whatever your domain is. So if my domain is this, I will just copy this and put it here. Okay. And there are few more settings. So you might have to import the certificate and all that thing. So you clear what is alternate domain name? If I want to update the domain from uh, changing the Amazon I have to move out from the Amazon domain. WAF, I told you it's a firewall. It is active as a firewall. You can add WAF. We don't have any WAF in our account, so it's saying none, and everything will be as it is. Let's create. Okay. So it will take nearly 15, 10. We will wait 10 minutes for this to come up. Okay. So meanwhile, I will stop the sharing. Pause. So my distribution is up right now. First of all, I will close my image. Okay. uh, my object which we have working on. Okay, what I will do, as I said, we are not going to access our S3 file directly now. We want the request to route through CloudFront. So what I will do, I will disable the public access of my file. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. Let's copy this and paste. So I'm just browsing this file once using S3. Okay, now it is loading. Now let's change the permission to private. Okay, so as soon as you change the permission and you are again trying to access the file, it will give me access denial. See, okay, we know that, right? As soon as we are changing the permission, we our it will propagate instantaneously. So what I will do, I will go here. This is my domain name of my CloudFront. See, okay, so this is my URL. I will change S3 domain to our CloudFront now. It is taking time, but see the comparison, how much faster it loaded from previous one. Did you see the comparison of loading the file? Okay, this is the first time I access a file in CloudFront. Now ch- let's change the browser. Let's go with the Microsoft Edge. Okay, so you remember when we access the file, our request will go to the 8 location. 8 location will go to the server, means S3. From S3 it will create a copy, and that copy will be given back to you. When you request second time, you will go to edge location and edge location will return back to you, right? Let's see how much time it will take. See the comparison previous from previous edge location. Now it's loading very fast.